Imagine this. It is late at night. You have done everything you can to distract your mind. You scrolled endlessly through your phone. You watched videos. You tried reading a book. You even told yourself, I am over this. I am done thinking about him. But the truth is, he is still there. In your mind, a name, a face, a memory. You haven't heard from him. It has been days, weeks, maybe even months. Yet somehow, he is everywhere. When you wake up in the morning, his face flashes in your mind. During your day, there are songs, places, and moments that pull you right back to him. When you close your eyes at night, the longing returns. And a part of you wonders why. Why is he still here when he is not here? Why does this invisible cord still tie you to him? And what does it mean? Today, we are going to explore this question. Because what is happening inside you has a reason, and sometimes understanding that reason is what finally sets you free. Let's begin with this truth. The mind is not random, neither is the heart. When you find yourself constantly thinking about someone, especially someone who is no longer in your life, it is not a coincidence. Carl Jung called this an activation of the unconscious. What does that mean? It means that something about this person woke up a part of you. It stirred old emotions, touched old wounds, or awakened forgotten desires. And now, those parts of you are active. That is why the thoughts repeat. That is why the feelings loop. Because deep down, there's an unfinished story. Let's look closer. When you met him, whether consciously or unconsciously, you attached meaning to that connection. Maybe he made you feel seen. Maybe he unlocked a tenderness inside you. Maybe he reflected parts of your feminine energy that had been asleep. Or maybe he mirrored a pattern from your past, a longing for love, a fear of abandonment, a wound from an old relationship, or even from childhood. Here is the key. When the emotional imprint is strong, the mind cannot simply let it go. That is why you can say you are done. You can block him. You can tell your friends you have moved on, but the inner energy holds on. And this is not weakness. This is how the psyche works. When something triggers a core emotional pattern, it stays active until it is resolved. Here is another truth. You are not thinking of him. You are thinking of what he represented. The image of him is attached to a deeper longing inside you. Maybe it is the longing to be fully loved, to be chosen, to feel worthy, to feel desired, to feel safe, because he activated that longing. Your mind keeps circling back. In other words, it is not about him. It is about you. It is about the unmet emotions that surfaced in this connection. Carl Jung taught that many of our relationships are projections. We project our needs, our wounds, and our hopes onto another person. When that person disappears, the projection remains. That is why the thoughts feel so obsessive. It's because you are not chasing the man. You are chasing resolution inside yourself until that inner story is healed. The mind will not stop. Let's pause here. If this feels true for you, take a breath. You are not broken. You are not crazy. You are human. What you are experiencing is a natural process of the psyche trying to heal. But here is where many people stay stuck. They believe the only way to stop thinking about him is to hear from him, to get closure. To reconnect, the real path forward is inward. It is not about him coming back. It is about you going back into yourself and finding what this experience awakened in you. So ask yourself this: what part of me did this connection touch? What need, what wound, what hope did it bring to the surface? When you can see that, the obsession begins to soften. It is not about erasing him from your mind. It is about understanding the deeper message behind his presence in your thoughts. In the next part of this video, we will explore why the stronger the connection was, the harder it is to let go. We will also look at the hidden ways your nervous system holds on to emotional imprints, and, most importantly, how to finally release the loop. Even if you never get closure from him, stay with me, because the most important part is still to come. Before we continue, if you want to understand these deep patterns within yourself and finally break free from them, I recommend exploring the Jung Method. It is a powerful tool to help you decode your unconscious patterns and reclaim your emotional freedom. You will find the link in the first pinned comment. Now, let's go deeper. When the connection was strong, the emotional imprint it left inside you is just as strong. It is not simply about time passing or distance growing. The bond that was created within your nervous system remains alive. This is why the stronger the connection, the harder it is to let go. The brain stores not just memories, but emotional energy. The body remembers how it felt to be near him. It remembers the chemistry, the attention, the safety, or even the uncertainty and longing. That emotional memory lives in your nervous system. And this is often why months can pass, and yet a single song, a single scent, or a single thought can pull you right back into the feeling. It is not weakness. It is not obsession. It is simply biology and emotion working together in the way they are designed to. And the more you try to fight these feelings by force, the more resistance you create inside yourself. This is why trying to convince yourself, "I am done, I do not care anymore," rarely works in practice, because it is not about logic. It is about energy. Your nervous system is still holding on to the imprint of that connection. And to truly release it, you must address it from within. Now let's talk about another hidden reason why it can be so difficult to let go. Unresolved emotions. Many times what keeps a person stuck is not the love they felt, but the pain that was never expressed. Maybe there was confusion. Maybe there was no closure. Maybe there was rejection that you never fully faced. Those unresolved feelings create emotional residue, and the mind keeps returning to the person, hoping to unconsciously resolve what was left unsaid or unfelt. It is like an open loop in your system, one that keeps spinning because it was never completed. Carl Jung often spoke about this as the unfinished business of the psyche. Until the loop is consciously closed, the mind will keep returning to it. This is why facing the true emotions inside you is so important, not avoiding them, not running from them, but allowing them to surface and be processed. When you can sit with your own feelings, when you can feel the grief, the longing, the anger, or the sadness fully, that is when true release begins. Another factor is attachment patterns. If you tend to form anxious attachments, for example, your mind is wired to hold on even when logic tells you to let go. Anxious attachment often stems from childhood, experiences of inconsistent love or emotional neglect. When a person like this enters your life and triggers those old patterns, your inner child sees them as the solution to a much older wound, and so the mind becomes obsessed, not with the man himself, but with the hope of finally healing that ancient pain. Understanding your own attachment style is key to breaking this cycle. Because when you realize it is not about him, it is about your deeper patterns, you begin to reclaim your power. Let's also talk about projection. One of the most powerful teachings from Carl Jung is that we do not fall in love with people. We fall in love with the parts of ourselves that we project onto them. What this means is that often, the qualities we admired in him were reflections of qualities we longed to embody ourselves, or the dynamics of the relationship mirrored old inner conflicts. When he disappears from your life, the projection remains. The longing you feel is for the part of yourself you saw in him, or the emotional story you created around him. By pulling back that projection, by seeing it for what it truly was, you take a huge step toward emotional freedom. This is why inner work, reflection, and understanding your patterns is so important. Without it, the mind stays trapped in a loop, chasing shadows and unresolved emotions. Now let us explore how to finally release this loop. First, stop judging yourself for still thinking about him. Self-judgment only adds another layer of resistance. Compassion is key. Understand that this is a natural process, not a personal failure. Second, allow your emotions to be fully felt. When sadness arises, let it move through you. When longing appears, breathe with it. Emotions need to be processed, not suppressed. Third, bring awareness to your patterns. What did this connection awaken in you? What old wounds did it touch? What inner stories did it reflect? The more awareness you bring, the less power those patterns have over you. And finally, focus on reconnecting with yourself. The more you fill your own life with meaning, joy, connection, and self-love, the less room there is for the old loop to dominate your thoughts. You are not erasing him. You are choosing to return to yourself. One more thing to understand. Sometimes, what keeps the loop alive is the belief that only he can give you what you are longing for. This is an illusion. The love, the safety, the worthiness you seek can only be fully found within you when you reclaim that power. When you realize that you are whole and complete without him, that is when the true freedom begins. It is not about forgetting him. It is about remembering yourself. In closing, if you find yourself thinking about him constantly, if the connection still haunts your mind, know this: you are not stuck. You are simply being invited to heal. Every thought, every longing, every emotion is an opportunity to turn inward and understand yourself more deeply. And as you do this inner work, something beautiful happens. The hold begins to loosen. The energy begins to shift. The obsession fades, and in its place, you find a deeper connection to yourself, one that no one can ever take away. This is your path to freedom. This is the deeper meaning behind why he is still in your mind. Not to torment you, but to awaken you. Not to keep you trapped, but to set you free. Honor the journey. You are doing the work. And you are already moving forward, even more than you know.